Greetings, fellow humans. You know me as Iceman Caesar, and this is what's up in the world today. It's the most wonderful time of the year. That's right, December 1st, baby, so unleash the Christmas. Sorry to all the Grinches out there, but man, December is Christmas time. I catch myself all year from singing Christmas songs. I'm not one of those people that breaks them out all year round, but when it's December, it is time for Christmas songs, Christmas movies, just the whole Christmas theme. I know some people are not all about Christmas, but I just love it. It brings me lots of positive energy, good, happy memories, and there's been a few years where we didn't really, because we were traveling to Winnipeg to see my sister's family and everything. Didn't really do too much decorating around the house because we were going, weren't really gonna be here. And man, I definitely missed it. It was a palpable difference in energy and mood, and just it didn't, I just didn't get that energy boost that I guess that I'm used to getting from around Christmas time. That really just gives you that positive, happy energy that can get you through the next few winter months, which can be pretty brutal. But man, I've been looking forward to this episode of What's Up in the World today from the beginning. When I was coming up with this idea, trying to figure out what topics I'd go through. The topic today was one of the ones right at the top of the list I wanted to do, but wanted to wait until the appropriate time because it's kind of a themed episode. So and I wanted to do it when it had the most impact. So right around now is definitely that time. So today I'm going to be telling the true story of Santa Claus. And now, story of Santa Claus has been told many times. Obviously, it's most people know that supposed to go back to somebody named Saint Nicholas, but even that story has been a little twisted and turned a little. And over the years, it kind of took me a little bit to kind of piece together the actual true story, but just knowing where to look and collecting the right information, I was able to piece together the true story, and that is what I'm going to present out here for everybody today. So it's Christmas in modern times, at least from when I've been growing up, it's really been promoted that Santa and Jesus are completely separate, and that if embracing Santa is disrespecting Jesus, or it's kind of blasphemy or whatever. So we've been kind of conditioned to believe that the two are separate. It's one or the other. It's either Santa or Jesus. But the true story of Santa Claus reveals that they are more connected than anybody could know, and the origins of Santa Claus was because of Jesus. So I'm going to be telling that story, but just looking around in our society, it's really been presented as if it's one or the other, or that they're not connected, but they really are connected. That's how it started. So I want to tell that story the right way, the way it was supposed to be told. And now there is a reason why C.S. Lewis, one of the greatest fiction authors, but not only that, one of the greatest non-fiction authors of all time. And I mean, his nonfiction works are. To me, it should be another C.S. Lewis nonfiction Christian writings should be in the should be if there's ever going to be a new a modern version of a Bible or whatever, C.S. Lewis would definitely be a book in there for sure, because his nonfiction Christian writings are just incredible. Mere Christianity changed my life. So C.S. Lewis was on a different level of understanding with God and connection to God and Jesus. So it's he just the things that he knew of were just way ahead of his time for sure. We're only now kind of catching up to looking back to going, wow, look at how this guy crafted his movies and his fictions to represent the non-fiction Christian teachings that he wanted to that he was learning and wanted to put out there. So it's absolutely incredible man and everything that he's done. But there was a reason. If you watch Lion, the Witch, and the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, if you read the book and if you watch the movies, BBC version totally the best. The modern updated one was literally the only movie I think maybe I can remember that I've fallen asleep in. Now it was sidebar a little bit that I was working a pretty heavy labor job at the time, and it was the late show. I wanted to see it, and it was so bad at the halfway point that I was like, I can either fight through the rest of this movie, or I can get like a good hour of sleep. So I decided to just chill out and go to sleep. So the BBC version, even though the effects they don't really they don't really hold up, but man, like everything else about it, absolute home run. So if you love The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe story, check out the BBC version of it. They absolutely crushed it. It's a live action one, so it might take some getting used to, but buy into it, man. They did such a great job. But anyways, going way off topic. There's a reason that in the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, C.S. Lewis included Santa Claus as a character in there. And Santa Claus, if you've watched the movies, spoiler alert, sorry if you haven't, but Santa Claus, once they start once Aslan starts coming back and winning things, Santa Claus shows up and gives them much needed weapons that they end up using. And gives them gifts that are basically things they can use to help defeat the White Witch and her armies and stuff. Which like if you know anything about Aslan's supposed to be kind of a representation of Jesus, White Witch, Satan. So it's pretty. That's what I mean when I say he took his non-Christian or non-fiction Christian things and put them into movies to try and teach the lessons out there. So. But there's a reason why he included Santa Claus, and and there was a reason why the characters, when they refer to the time where the White Witch had control, it was always winter but never Christmas. So and that's because C.S. Lewis and back in his time, even then it was starting to be separated, but he knew that Santa Claus and Jesus were connected, and he knew that that it was an important piece of truth to keep putting out there, which is why he included it in his movies. So he's one of the greatest Christian writers and one of the greatest authors of all time. There's a reason why he included Santa Claus, because there's the deepest connection between Santa Claus and Jesus. So. But the true story of Santa Claus and the connection to Jesus has been purposely lost and severed by Satan, so that because as I'll explain in the story, when Santa Claus and Jesus are presented connected to each other, it's so many great positive things are out there, so much great positive energy, and the best version of people and just everything is a great chance to come out. So that's why he disconnects it, and that's why it's been pushed as separated. But hopefully, but it's important. That's why we got to fight to push the real truths out there, so that people can understand the world and the way it works in the right way, and wake up to what's going on around us, and then start helping each other, and just lose the selfishness and the lack of compassion and empathy that is that this Satan and his Illuminati controlled society is built. But don't want to talk in too much of that. I want to talk about the good, positive, happy stuff of the true story of Santa Claus. So it's hopefully this video, once at the end of it, everybody understands the true story. That I've been able to present it clearly, and that it's not that far off from the story that I'm sure you've heard, but I don't know if people have heard it specifically told in this way. So hopefully this kind of helps and clears things out. But so here we go. Here is the true story of Santa Claus. So in the years after Jesus' death, a man named Nicholas, who lived in a northern village around where Jesus lived, around where Jesus was born and lived, in one of the northern villages, a man named Nicholas was working as a carpenter. And there was one year after Jesus' death, where Nicholas decided that he wanted to do something special to celebrate the birth of Jesus' birthday. He wanted to do something out of the norm, something special to try and really celebrate it. Really, not just celebrate it, but celebrate in a way that put the teachings of Jesus out there, and really help connect people to the good positive energy that Jesus brings to us. So he wanted to do something special, and one day he decided that there was a lot of children that lived in the village where he was in, and he decided that since he was a carpenter, he thought it would be a pretty good thing if he made some toys and figurines and things like that, and made them for all the, because he kind of figured, he knew it was, back then there wasn't huge villages, so he kind of knew everybody, and so he knew how many kids were in each house or whatever, and see, or how many were in the village. So went into his carpentry workshop and started making these figurines, of animals and things, and just making the pretty primitive toys compared to the crazy things we have in our times, but just went down into his shop and started making all these wooden figurines and toys. Excuse me. Things like that, and then on the evening before. And so on the evening before Jesus' birthday, Nicholas loaded up all the toys and into a big sack, and walked around. And as after there was basically a set time where kids were brought in and put to bed, so he kind of knew when the kids would be out to bed. And Nicholas just walked around to all the houses that had kids, and opened up his sack and left the wooden toys and figurines on the step, and went to each house, went back to his house, went to sleep, and never didn't say this is didn't leave any notes or anything that it was from him. Just all he wanted to do was just put some smiles on some kids' faces to commemorate Jesus' birthday. People obviously knew what day it was when they woke up on the morning. Like people knew that it was Jesus' birthday, but so the kids, when they woke up, were gonna know that not only was it Jesus' birthday, but wow, like somebody left these awesome figurines and toys on our door. So. So obviously that morning on Jesus' birthday, when everyone woke up and wow, like they saw these toys, like what the heck, obviously the kids just loved it. Like the kids were so happy, and seeing the kids so happy and occupied made the parents happy, and didn't take them long to figure out, there wasn't that many carpenters around there, so it didn't take them long to figure out who did it. And everyone was very, very appreciative of it, and Nicholas saw just how much positivity and good energy, how happy the kids were, and how happy it made everybody just to see the gift of giving, and see the light shine through these kids. And so after doing it that one year, seeing how happy everybody was with it, obviously he kept, had to do it again. So kept doing it year after, the next few years, did it again, went around and brought the toy with his sack, and brought the toys to all the doorsteps, and it was a really great thing. And as the years went on, the popularity of Nicholas started to grow. People heard about this carpenter that was making these toys and delivering them to the kids every on the morning of in the evening before Jesus' birthday, and when the kids would wake up, they'd have these surprises of toys and figurines on their step. So he started to as his popularity grew, people, not only did people think it was a great idea, but they wanted to help him. So in the lead up to Jesus' birthday, he would people of different skills, other carpenters, just people with different skills that could help him craft, different toys, better toys, different kinds of figurines. Just kind of help him step up his game as far as the quality of toys that he was providing. So he started attracting all these people that would come into his workshop, and they would, get together and start creating all these toys for everybody in the village. And, as the popularity started growing, Nicholas didn't just limit it to the village he lived in. He started delivering them to all the surrounding villages, all the surrounding villages that were close enough that he could get to, all the surrounding villages around where he lived. And so he'd have his big sack of toys and figurines, and he then once he started traveling from to other villages, he'd have a big wagon with all the sacks in there. He'd put the toys in there, and start going around from village to village and delivering these toys on the evening before Jesus' birthday. And and so this continued every single year. It never failed that people would come to help and just help create these toys and figurines and create new ones. And but as the years went by, Nicholas got older, and eventually he couldn't keep up with his regular duties as a carpenter like he used to. Um, so unfortunately, he had to stop, helping make all the toys and figurines. But that didn't stop the operation at all. Everybody kept coming, and different carpenters came and took over for him to help. And so eventually Nicholas would stop making the toys, and his only job. But one of the things that one of his favorite things to do, in life, was to go around from village to village and deliver all those toys and put them on the steps, and eventually talk with the parents who would be expecting him, and things like that, and see the kids that were trying to stay up and get a glimpse of Nicholas to see him delivering their toys and figurines. And as he grew older, he got a little bit heavier since he wasn't working as much and doing it. And he eventually grew he had a big beard, throughout his life. But as he got older, that beard turned pretty white, pretty gray. So but it didn't stop him from participating. He loved delivering the toys, so that was kind of his role as he got older. And he even made an apparatus to attach the ladder so that he could attach a lantern to the lead donkey, so that he could deliver the toys and figurines, even into the late nights. Like, he didn't have to stop. So I think as I'm telling these things, hopefully you're starting to see kind of how the legend and everything the story that we know today came together. But it's still not finished yet. But even though Nicholas could no longer make the toys, people never stopped coming every year, to help him make them. And eventually, he had to turn people away. It's like, too many people. There's too many cooks in the kitchen here. Like, so it was just a absolutely great thing. And eventually, Nicholas passed away, and but the delivery of toys to the children for Jesus' birthday still did not stop. And the people that were around Nicholas, everybody everybody could see all the happiness and positivity that was coming out of this, and how it was connecting people to celebrate Jesus' birthday, and to really be excited about this occasion, even though it shouldn't, obviously, it should just be normally, but it was just another reason to just to see the kids get so excited about Jesus' birthday. It was really people didn't want to see it stop with after Nicholas passed away. So people would different people would step up and help deliver the toys. And it wasn't just limited to the village that Nicholas lived in. The popularity grew further and further, and the further out it grew, there were all of a sudden there were different Nicholases, and in all parts of the regions around where Jesus was born. There was a Nicholas in just the northern parts, and all of a sudden just different carpenters were building toys, and people were coming to help them make toys, and they were delivering them to all the kids around in the villages where they lived, and it just kept spreading and spreading and spreading and spreading. And so not only did it continue back in that day around Nicholas time, but obviously the people taking on the role of Nicholas, and helping to deliver toys and positivity and good energy to people around the world continues to this day. So the and so there, yes, sorry, but there you have it. That is the true story of Santa Claus, and there's been a story of Saint Nicholas, but it's not. It's not quite the same thing as that one, but it really is just as simple as it was a man named Nicholas that was just loved Jesus and wanted to celebrate his birthday and thought it was a great way to celebrate would be to make some toys and figurines for the children, and that just grew and grew and grew into into what we into this into the into the holiday that we have today. The what we know as Christmas. So it's and what now once I go through everything, it's pretty easy to see just how we have the story and the legend that we is in our world now. Like Nicholas, everybody coming in to help Nicholas build the toys and everything. That's the elves. They lived in the northern region of where Jesus was born, and that's kind of the North Pole. And once Nicholas got too old, and was only able to deliver the toys, and so it was Santa sitting back while the elves came and they made all the toys, and and then Santa went around and delivered them, and because of everybody around the world becoming taking upon themselves to be the Nicholas of their region and make toys and figurines for kids and stuff like that. And people didn't say it was them. People would say, "Oh, it must have been Nicholas." I mean, it wasn't me. Like, so people would keep up the story that way. So that's where we got how Santa delivering presents to across the world to everybody in the same night, and ran putting the lantern on the donkeys leading the wagon. Got Rudolph with his nose so bright. And so it's once you know the true story, it's easy to see how it translates to our modern story that we have. But here's the main thing about it. Once the legend started to grow and more people started participating, that is what the miracle of Christmas is. Because and that's where. Like the miracle of Christmas, it's like everybody helping people everywhere. If because that's there were no once the legend started to grow, there were no kids that had to go without, because there was always a Nicholas in every region to step up and to take the time and effort to make these toys and figurines and deliver them to all the children in their villages and in their surrounding regions. So that's the miracle of Christmas, is that everybody taking it upon themselves to help as many people as we possibly can around us, to help the kids have a good, happy day. It's help to make sure families can be together on Christmas, and families don't have to just don't have to focus on this negativity that can present itself in the modern way we have Christmas, with so dependent on presents. And it just, for a lot of people, Christmas is debt and stress and headaches and it's just so much of what it's not supposed to be. But that miracle of Christmas is really all of us deciding that we're going to put our selfishness away, and we're going to have empathy and compassion for other people, and we're going to go out of our way to help others to have a good Christmas. And if we all did that, then if nobody's worrying about ourselves, and we're always worrying about each other, making sure that nobody's left behind and that nobody has a bad Christmas, eventually if I'm having a bad day, somebody will be worrying about me. So we just got to that's the miracle of Christmas, and that all goes back to Jesus. So that's why I say Jesus and Santa are connected, because they are. It started with the teachings that Jesus gave us are what the foundations for Christmas, and why Nicholas wanted to do what he did is because he was so inspired by Jesus' love and his gift to us, that he wanted to give a gift to other people that could use it and need it and create some happiness and positivity. So once once Nicholas started doing what he did, that just exploded the legend of the story of Jesus, and just the connection to Jesus, and it just the miracle of Christmas to me. That's why Santa is such an important part of it, because and I'm gonna get there too, but it goes, Santa, Christmas as we as the years go on, it becomes more and more Christmas presents are about everybody. But that's back years and years ago, Christmas was only about Christmas presents were only for kids. Adults didn't get them. Once you became an adult, you didn't get presents anymore, and so Christmas was really only like kind of a kid thing. And that's why it was, because that's how it started. Nicholas didn't make presents and figurines and stuff for the adults. He made them for the children. So for the long time, the Christmas tradition was presents are only for the children. But as our society changed and we got, we were able to build our, to get all the technology in the age of electricity. We were able to be in better positions as human beings and as society, so we were able to afford to be able to focus on adults, and all of a sudden we're able to be a little bit more selfish and extend the presents to adults. And you can see as the years go on, it gets more and more normal for everybody to have presents. I'm not saying that we should go back, like it is I mean, obviously it's the act of giving is the number one thing, but it's also great to know someone cares about you enough to buy you a gift. It's I mean, everybody, it's an enjoyable feeling for sure, but the act of giving is much more enjoyable. Seeing somebody enjoy something and seeing the happiness and emotion overcome them, especially children. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing that we're including everybody as we get older, but really the present should. That's why it's always been more focused on the children, because that is how Christmas and the Christmas of presents and Santa kind of started. So it's and the first name of Santa Claus wasn't Santa Claus, it was Father Christmas. So that was meant to have more of a connection to God and Jesus, Father Christmas. So, but the Santa Claus, giving him the name is just creates that little bit of a barrier that starts to become wider and wider and wider as the years go by, because Father Christmas as opposed, but I mean, it's kind of at this point like semantics. I mean, don't need to change the name of Santa Claus, but it's just knowing that what the original name was is it helps in understanding and accepting the true story. But you see here, and that another why it's you see, believing in Santa Claus doesn't mean that you believe there's an old white old man with a big white beard that lives in a legit North Pole and has legitimate 12 hopefully 12 reindeer. God, but has flies around the world delivering presents. Like, believe in Santa Claus, that is not what believing in Santa Claus means. Believing in Santa Claus means becoming the Nicholas for your village. So if you believe in Santa Claus, that means that you're gonna do it. You are gonna look to do something for children that you know of that might be in a position not to have a good Christmas, a family you know of that might be in the position to not have a good Christmas. So that's what the belief in Santa Claus is: becoming the Nicholas to your village and stepping up to be the Santa Claus in whatever way. I mean, sometimes some people are in the position to do it monetarily. Some people can do it in different ways. I mean, you can offer if you're if you own a business, or if you have if you have a skill, you can offer a free service. It's just, there's so many things that you could do to make somebody's day a little bit easier, to help somebody or a family have a better Christmas. So believing in Santa Claus doesn't mean you believe in an old man with a big white beard. Like, there's actually, believing in Santa Claus means that you believe in the miracle of Christmas, and you believe in every single person having a great Christmas, nobody being left behind, and that, because if you don't believe in Santa Claus, then you're just not gonna. I mean, you're not gonna care. You're not gonna care to present. Like to go out of your way. And I mean, if you're gonna go out of your way to help children or a family have a good Christmas, follow the example of Nicholas. You don't need to put your name on it. Put the name of Santa Claus on it. I actually asked my sister a few years ago. There wasn't many gifts from Santa under the tree. I was like, why don't you put more gifts from Santa? And she's like, well, there might be some kids at school that don't have that don't get a lot of presents. So I don't want the kids going to school saying I got this from Santa, and have a child sit there wonder, well, they got a great gift from Santa. How come I didn't? Like, what did I do? So, man, I never thought about it like that. Totally rocked me. I was like, wow. I was really, hats off to my sister for that one. But it just totally kind of rocked me. I never thought about it that way. And so, it really kind of really checked myself. Like, wow, I could have easily made that mistake without even realizing it. So, it's. But if you're gonna help people, do it in the name of Santa Claus. But going back, that's why we got to reconnect Jesus to Santa Claus, so that when you do it, when you do it in the name of Santa Claus, the kids will know that it's for Jesus' birthday, and you see that was the whole thing about it. Actually, I'm gonna make that point a bit. Sorry, getting ahead of myself, um, I mean, doing something like that for a stranger, like giving a monetary gift or a gift of time or skill or service or whatever, like, especially for a stranger. I mean, for family and friends, that's a great thing for sure. But, family and friends, we have a more of emotional connection to. Strangers, no connection to. So going out of your way and doing something amazing like that is just, it really goes above and beyond and says something. So it's just, really for people that are in a position to help, really look around and see if anybody that might be having might be in a position to not have such a good Christmas, and whatever you can do to help them, just in the spirit of Nicholas, in the name of Jesus' birthday, do something great for them. Give them a gift of whatever you can do to make their lives better. But that's the belief in Santa. That's the miracle of Christmas, and that it goes back to everything Jesus taught us. Do unto others as we would do unto ourselves. The Good Samaritan. Go out of our way to help others, even though it's not our problem. And we didn't they put themselves in that position. But still, if we can, if we can turn the other cheek and give somebody a shoulder to lean on and offer a hand to help somebody up, I mean, that's the right thing to do, and that's what we have to do as Christians. And that's why the scene in Elf always gets me, man. If I'm watching it with people, I always got to pinch the absolute crap out of my leg, because when she's getting people to believe in Santa again, it's like, I know that movie is not. I mean, Elf is my number one Christmas movie. We'll talk about it in a bit, but I know it's not presenting the connection to God and Jesus. But man, the foundation of all the good, positive things they put out in that movie goes back to Jesus. So, but man, that scene when they get people to believe in Santa Claus, and just like, and even though the belief gets this, old man in a real sleigh, going, it's like, to me, that scene represents the belief, this belief that I'm talking about, that people believe in Santa and go out and spend more time with their family, and do something for a less fortunate person or a family, or just do something good for a stranger, or just do anything, like go support a local business that you don't normally go to around Christmas time, or buy a present from a local business or a mom and pop owned store instead of your big box retailer, or just just whatever, but that's why the scene always gets me, because it's like, because it's the sleigh really kicks up when the boy's dad starts singing again, and that when he starts doing that again, he becomes the best version of himself. So man, that's why that scene always gets me. And it's like, the belief in Santa is, it's about the miracle of Christmas. It's about being the Nicholas for your village. And if we do that, we help so many people, and we just, we don't leave anybody behind, and that everybody can have a great Christmas and experience those happy, positive energies that I experience and that many people do. And it's just, it's a really bummer to me when people are so down about Christmas. So like, as much as we can do to bring that positive, good energy, we gotta do it as much as we can. And a good one, and just to help people, how I explain Santa Claus to my niece and nephew, the kids, is excuse me. How I explain it to them is that Jesus already has the best present that he could possibly get from us, our love. Like, our love and connection to Jesus is the best gift and the only gift he ever wants. So, so on his birthday, he doesn't want people to have, to buy him gifts. Instead of that, he wants gifts for all the children out there. And so, and us too, and we're all brothers and sisters in Christ. So, he wants us. He wants he wants the children to, have the presents instead. So that's why I say that, Jesus doesn't want the presents, so he sends Santa Claus to deliver the presents to all the little kids instead of giving presents to him. And that is always sung home to the kids. They've always connected Jesus' birthday to Santa Claus and Christmas. They're always saying thank you. They're always making sure to mention Jesus and singing happy birthday to him. And it's just so great to see. And it's kind of, it just makes me just see the happiness and positivity, and just how great that connection is when it is connected. It's just seeing how that connection works in the kids. Just I know that this is the true story, and this is how it was always supposed to be. um, and once they grow up and they realize, okay, Uncle Jay, Santa's not real. That's when it becomes a teaching moment, and I say, oh, no, Santa is real. It's just when you grow up, you become Santa Claus. Once you stop being a kid, you're Santa Claus. And now you got to look around and become Santa Claus to everybody around you that needs it. That needs a little lift, needs some happiness and positivity. So and that's worked like I haven't had to get to that moment yet, because the kids are still buying into the story, and I don't mind that at all. I love keeps the longer they can keep their innocence, the better, because look at our society, kids lose it, gosh, so quickly now. So I'm so glad that my niece and nephew still seem to have it at their ages of 9 and 10 now. So it's. But it's like just explaining that Jesus has the greatest gift he could ever have, our love. So he doesn't want any more gifts. He wants the kids and everybody around the world to have the gifts instead. So he sends Santa Claus to deliver them. And once they get older, to know that Santa Claus is mom and dad, and you just let them know that it's not just mom and dad, it's you too. So Santa Claus, belief in Santa Claus means that we believe that in the miracle of Christmas, and that we become the Nicholas to our village. And if we all embrace that, if everybody embraces that concept and believes in Santa Claus and pushes that narrative out there, and becomes the Nicholas to their village, nobody will be left behind. Like, everybody will have a great Christmas. There'll be so much happiness and positivity and good energy in the air. We'll be able to harness that and feed off it, for those tough, brutal winter months, and get into the spring where things are new again and fresh, and we can just focus on being the best version of ourselves and building the best version of this world. And when the autumn comes and things are starting to wind down again, boom, it'll be Christmas time, and it'll be time for us to believe in Santa and become the Nicholas to our villages again. So it's it will just help so many people, and most of the time the ones that desperately need it the most. So belief in Santa Claus is so huge, and that's why that's why I was so excited to do this episode of What's Up in the World Today, because it's just such an important thing for the truth of Santa Claus to be out there, so we can all embrace it and become the Nicholas to our own village. Even presents themselves become sometimes of an argumentative subject. Some people think that they ruin the spirit of Christmas, and that there shouldn't be any gifts at all. It should only be just family and food and fellowship. There no gifts or anything like that. But as we saw in the story of Nicholas, the act of giving inspired literally thousands of years of celebrating the birth of Jesus, and it created so much positivity and happiness. And even though, Satan has pretty successfully, worked to separate, the Santa Claus and Jesus, just to sever that connection, despite that, there's still so much great, good things that happen from from Christmas and the act of giving, and so many people that are less fortunate that get help on Christmas time because people step up and are more in the mood and have more of the energy of giving. We should try and do it as year round as possible, but whatever it is, if we can help as many people because people are inspired around Christmas time, then whatever, we'll just we'll take as much of that as we can get and help as many people as we possibly can. But obviously you can go overboard and make it all about presents, and you can make it too materialistic. But if you do it in the right way, don't go overboard. Give kids a happy Christmas and give them what they want, but at the same time keep them wanting. That's a good part of growing up, is still wanting something to move forward. When I didn't get stuff on Christmas, I'd be like, okay, how do I get money to get this? And as a kid, that kind of train of thought goes away quickly. But as you get older, you start to think, okay, how am I going to acquire this? And it kind of pushes you to move forward. So the act of giving, if Nicholas hadn't started that, who knows what who knows what Satan would have been able to do to Christmas around now. So the act of giving inspired thousands of years of celebrating Jesus' birthday and trying to put happiness and positivity out there. So I do think that presents should be part of it. Just you gotta pump the brakes sometimes and watch to make sure you're not going overboard, you're not making it too materialistic, and you're not totally leaving them giving them absolutely everything they want. And now I also know that the struggles of Christmas can lead to a lot of negative emotions and energy and things like that. But that's why it's so important for all of us to believe in Santa, embrace the true story, and become the Nicholas to our village. Because if we do that, then if we have millions of Nicholases out there, if we have millions of Santa Clauses out there, then then nobody will be having a bad Christmas. And that's what it's all about, not leaving anybody behind, making sure that everybody can have the best version of Christmas for them and their family and friends. And if there's millions of Nicholases out there, we can accomplish that goal. And it's way easier than we think. It's just everybody's got to embrace it and become the Nicholas to their village. Despite I know this is gonna be tough to push out there because I know that the connection of Jesus and Santa has pretty much been completely severed. But if we fight to put the true story back out there, then that connection it'll rebuild stronger than ever, and it'll never be able to be broken or just pushed aside or masked ever again. Once we rebuild it and connect it, it will be stronger than ever. But we have to fight for the true story. We have to. It took me a lot to even learn the true story to figure out that there was a different, the story of Nicholas wasn't exactly what was presented, that it went in a little bit of a different way. So it's we just have to keep fighting for it and to put it out there and to embrace it. It's not just enough to put it out there and tell it, but we got to actually walk the walk, become the Nicholas to our village, and help as many people as we can around us. And that's for Jesus to be able to die for our sins, he had to be born. And what a gift that was to humanity from God, allowing his son to become human and be born and to live a life and to die and have the worst, most brutal death possible, and to die to defeat sin and death, rise again, and open the gates of heaven to all of us that are so unworthy. But what a gift that was for humanity. And we can never ever begin to repay that to Jesus, but we can begin to repay that gift to others. And so by having compassion and empathy, by going out of our way to make sure nobody gets left behind on Christmas, we honor Jesus in the absolute best way possible. So, Jesus being born is such a significant event, and it is just as significant as the end of his life, because if he wasn't born, then obviously he could never die for our sins. So Jesus' birthday needs to be one of the greatest celebrations in our lives every single year, because it's such hell is a place unfathomable, and it wouldn't be anything until it's right in front of you. And obviously, in our lives, with lots of life left in front of us, lots of years left, yeah, we can be, blasé about hell, and it's not a big deal or whatever, but it'd be the absolute worst. I mean, there's no way to even possibly experience a fiber of it in our imaginations or anything. Like, the worst possible emotions of every kind would be experienced, the worst possible anything. So that was what our fate was, the fate of sinners, of human beings, without Jesus. But Jesus made it so that, even though some of us may have to walk through hell, the gates are open to absolutely every single one of us. And Jesus made it so that not all of us have to walk through hell. Some of us can walk through a much better place to get through the gates of heaven, but some of us will have to walk through hell. But it's that gift of all of us being able to get through the gates of heaven is just, there's no possible way we could ever repay it to Jesus. But we can start to repay that back to others. And if we do that for others, that is honoring Jesus' sacrifice. Like I say, Jesus' sacrifice and gift in the absolute best way possible. That's the thing. That's what I want people to remember. You don't have to choose between Jesus or Santa Claus. It's not one or the other. Now that you know the true story, and they're connected, and that the belief in Santa is not about believing there's a North Pole and an old man there with elves and da 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 da. Like, that story was crafted from what really happened, and belief in Santa Claus means that you believe in the miracle of Christmas, in doing something for others, and that are less fortunate or whatever. Like, you believe in helping others and creating happiness, goodness, and positivity where there is none. So it's so I just wanted people to remember that they're connected, and they can and absolutely should be celebrated together. It's not one or the other, and it's the act of giving, that so many thousands of years ago inspired thousands of years of people trying to go out of their way to help people and to help others around Christmas time. And it inspired so much goodness and positivity, but it can inspire an entire world that could be the best version of itself and bring out the best version of people. So that's how important Christmas is, and that's why I was so excited to do this video. It's why it was one of the first initial topics that I immediately thought of when I was thinking about doing What's Up in the World today. So it's I'm just really passionate about it, and I really want to put the true story out there, and I really hope that people embrace it and believe it, and hopefully people understand, and I've told it clearly enough. But it's really important, because, like I say, without Jesus being born, he could not die for our sins. And we have to really just go out of our way to not only make this a significant celebration, but to honor Jesus in the best way possible. And that's having compassion and empathy for our fellow human beings, for our brothers and sisters in Christ, and just doing absolutely everything we can to spreading as much love, happiness, positivity, good energy out to everybody that we can. And if we all embrace that and become the Nicholas to our own village, then just nobody will be left behind on Christmas. And that is really how we'll take a huge, significant step forward to becoming being the best version of ourselves and building the best version of this world. And that's why a lot of places that are corrupt and controlled and really influenced by Satan and his Illuminati, it's really the best things about Christmas is not not a dominant holiday, or not a dominant thing, anything at all. And it's when it is something, it's completely devoid of all the great positive things that I was talking about that Christmas does and should bring out. So Christmas is so important for us being the best version of ourselves and creating the best version of this world, because it celebrates Jesus in the best way possible, and it creates, just, broken record, but it creates just so much positivity, love, goodness, happiness, just all the best kind of energy. So before I finish up, I want to go through my top 10 Christmas movies, and it's like I said at the beginning, Christmas songs, Christmas movies. That's what December is all about for me, and I got my collection of favorites. So I wanted to finish off with something kind of fun and just go through my top ten Christmas movies. So here we go. So I got to do some honorable mentions first. Cop out, I know, but the Frosty special, the Rudolph special, and Blasphemy. I know a lot of people are going to be raking me over the coals for this one, but Gremlins falls in the honorable mention. I love Gremlins. It's a Christmas movie. I'll fight for that, and it's one of my favorite Christmas movies. But oh man, that movie freaked me out so bad as a kid that I really get a lot of anxiety. I'm not gonna lie, I get a lot of anxiety watching it, man. Like, it's just, that movie freaked me out as a kid, but I always forced myself to watch it because it was just to me like a thrilling roller coaster, man, of like, they get them at the end, they're good at the end, but just like, oh god. And like, just the kitchen scene and the way when they first come out in the science lab and stuff, it's like, man, it was just, to me, that movie freaked me out. So it's I can't really put it on I can't put it on the top 10, but it's like, I always watch it around Christmas, and it's one of my favorites. So just settling on a top 10, I had to kind of leave it out just because oh man, it freaked me out as a kid. But man, I love that Rudolph and Frosty special. It's just, I gotta see that at least once at Christmas time. But here we go. So top 10 Christmas movies. Number 10, A Christmas Carol, or Scrooge, 1951 version though, the Alistair Sim version. It's got to be that one. It's black and white, so for the modern era, it might be tough to watch, but it's just so well acted. And if you really appreciate acting, it's just an unbelievable performance from Alistair Sim, and then everybody involved, all the cast and crew in that movie. But just an absolute classic, one my mom really loved. So as a kid, I always wanted to watch it with her, and I always wanted to act like I liked it. And as I got older, I really did grow to really actually enjoy it and love it. So I always loved that movie, and I like to watch it on TV, I don't know, I love the live airing of it when it comes on TV, so I always trying to catch it, but it's tough catching. There's a bunch of different versions of it because it's such a great story to be told, so sometimes it's interesting to find the right one, but Alistair Sim version is the one that I love. Number 9, Rocky 4. I know some people might fight that for a Christmas movie, but no way, I'll fight you for it. Like, takes place over Christmas. There's, Christmas is one of the big scenes in it, so it is a Christmas movie, damn it. But all of the Rocky movies for me remind me of Christmas because my dad was a huge Rocky fan, and just, I don't know, it just always seemed like a great movies to watch on Christmas. So we'd always check the channels to see if there was a Rocky marathon going. Most times there usually was, but for the rare years there wasn't, we'd pull out the VHS tapes and stack them up there and pop them in one at a time. And that was such an easy gift for my dad. Buy him something Rocky, buy him the new versions of the movies or a T-shirt or whatever. It was this easy thing. But for me, Christmas mornings, having Rocky on in the background is kind of what I remember, and just really that's why I connect the Rocky movies to Christmas. But Rocky 4, probably my favorite Rocky movie, and it's just, it's such an enjoyable movie. That's what the thing about. I'm pretty sure all the Rocky movies had a Christmas scene in each one. So it's I'll fight for those as being Christmas movies as well. But I didn't want to put just all of them. So Rocky 4 is probably my favorite. Number 8, It's a Wonderful Life, an absolute classic of a movie. Great message. It's. It goes back to the foundation of Jesus' teachings, appreciating what you have. And, it's not all about materialistic things. Grass isn't always greener on the other side. Appreciate what you have. Water your grass on your own lawn, and just really, the small things. And you really don't know what you got till it's gone sometimes. So you got to appreciate every second and every moment. That's why I love that movie. Another one that's in black and white, but it's just such an incredible acting performance that, it really really should people need to go through their way to sit through it and buy into it and embrace it. It's one of my favorites. I gotta watch it all the time. Gotta watch it at least once during Christmas. Another absolute classic, number 7, The Grinch. And for me, it's the original cartoon version. That's my favorite. That's my go-to. But I hope they continue making new versions of the Grinch for every generation, for endless generations, because the Grinch is such a great, fun story to tell. And that's another thing. He starts out hating, not believing in Santa or Christmas, and eventually, boom, comes around and embraces it. And experiences the miracle of Christmas, and even so, it shows that even the Grinches out there, can if you just become the Nicholas to the Grinch in your village, you can turn everyone around and even make the Grinches have great Christmas. So one of my favorite Christmas movies. I love the story. I love the song. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Absolute classic, and you're just one of my favorite stories. And it's pretty much every single movie on this list is going to be a broken record, but I gotta watch it at least once. But really glad that they keep updating it for new versions. Jim Carrey absolutely crushed it as his. So, but keep them coming, keep them coming. The Grinch is one of the best Christmas stories. Number 6, Charlie Brown Christmas. My boy CB and all the Peanuts gang, man. That is, I have one of my favorites. I got myself a little Charlie Brown tree this year for Christmas. Can't see it, but the first ornament is gonna be a Charlie Brown one, holding the little tree that he has in the Christmas special. It's like, man, I have some ornaments from family years from in the storage and stuff, but I don't have an ornament that I actually bought on my own. But first one is I was walking through the store, and there was an ornament display, and I just kind of just checked it out to see if there's anything that caught my eye, and surely enough, there was that boom Charlie Brown ornament, and with him holding his little Christmas tree. So absolutely perfect. But I love the story. I love the story of Charlie and Brown and his little tree and everything. So it's I'm a huge fan of Charlie Brown overall and the whole Peanuts gang. So Charlie, I can relate to Charlie Brown a little bit more than other characters. So one of my favorite Christmas things to watch. Number 5, Die Hard, and I will fight you if you want to say this is not a Christmas movie. Because damn it, this is a Christmas movie all the way. Awesome action movie. Obviously the violence. I mean, maybe not. Would go not in line with the Christmas theme, but it's entertainment, and it's it's a great Christmas movie for when all the kids go to bed and all the adults are up wrapping presents and everything. So it's a Christmas movie. I will fight you for that, and always try and get at least one viewing in around close to Christmas Eve, because it's like I say, it's a great choice for when the kids go to bed and everybody's together, and just pop in and watch a little Die Hard. Number 4, Home Alone 2. A sequel that runs right along parallel with the first one. I mean, first one is an absolute classic. It'll never be replaced, never be outdone. But Home Alone 2 is just as good. So many belly laughs, so many laughs that have that silent laughter. It was just such fun, entertaining stories to watch. And the incredible performances from all the cast. It's just like, these guys are family to me. We watch them every year. So many great laughs around the family, just roaring with laughter at all of our different scenes. So it's just, the one that gets me the most is the spider on Marv's face, man. So I could just list off like 25 different scenes that get me hysterically laughing. So it's just, Fuller, go easy on the Pepsi. It's just, but from the first one, get down on your knees and tell me you love me. I love you. Get out of here, you nosy little pervert, or I'm gonna slap you silly. Oh man, there's so many great moments and memories. But that leads us into number 3, Home Alone, man. But those two movies are just the absolute classic Christmas movies. Funny, great story in the end, and still entertaining to this day. I just never get sick of them. You never turn them off. Even after just watched it, go back to cable, and all of a sudden it's like boom, Home Alone's on. Now watch it again. Just two of the greatest Christmas movies ever made. My absolute favorites. I gotta watch them at least once a year to get those laughs in. That's good that it's good that they're not regular movies, and that I only let myself watch them once a year. That way they stay basically as funny as they could possibly be. So Home Alone 1 and 2 have a special place in my heart and my family for sure. Number 2, oh man, it's like I almost wanted to make it a tie, but I don't want to do a tie. So number 2, A Muppet Family Christmas, man, and what a travesty and what a crime that goes on with this movie, man. Like, this movie has been locked and hidden away from people. And, I mean, I say I don't know why, but I do know why. It's because Satan and his Illuminati control the society, and it has the F word in it, family. This one, they show every other Muppet Christmas special. They release every other Muppet Christmas special on DVD, every year a new version, but it's like never a Muppet Family Christmas. They never play it on TV anymore. They never release it on DVD. There's one obscure DVD release that I found, like, I found in like a flea market, and it's worth like hundreds of dollars if you want to get it off eBay or whatever now. But it's just like, and it's hidden away. But the reason is because it promotes the family. It presents the Muppets as a family. They're all coming to Grandma's house, traveling. It is so funny. It's so entertaining. All your favorite Muppet characters are in it, and it makes them like a family. So you almost feel like, it brings realism to the Muppets, man. It's just my favorite thing. I loved it as a kid, and it just broke my heart that every year it was never on. After a certain point, they stopped showing it. Broke my heart. When I was finally able to track it down again, it was just, man, it was almost brought tears to my eyes when it first started on. Now I watch it every year. I get to share it with my niece and nephew and see how funny their laughs and smiles, and it's just such a great special, and it just, it makes me so mad that it's hidden and locked away. Like, it would be such a great thing for our society these days, but I know why it is, because it's in our society, the family has been tried to be killed, so obviously they're not going to allow a Christmas special that promotes family to be out there as much as Muppet Family Christmas does. So it's an absolute crime, and hopefully somebody that has some influence can push it through and get it on TV and get it out for home physical release this year or in the coming years or whatever. It's just too great of a special, and it's too great to be locked away and not to be seen. So it's one of my favorites. It brings me so much happiness and positive energy, and one day I really hope, I'm hoping to have my own family one day, and I really hope to be able to sit down with my own kids and share it with them and bring it to them. So it's like, I love it so much, and I just wish that it was out there more in public and played on TV every year and put out for a home video release so people can buy it and have it and play it on their own every year. And I just go out of your way to track it down and watch it, because it's the best, man. I just love it. Brings us to number 1. My number 1 Christmas movie is Elf. I had to settle on it because I have a smile on my face the entire time I watch it. I'm laughing, I'm smiling, I'm happy, I'm always entertained. I love the story, the singing. Oh, what a beautiful voice. Zooey Deschanel, she's so beautiful herself. She has a beautiful voice. She's such a sweet character in it. Her and Will Ferrell have so much incredible chemistry, and Will Ferrell and the kid, and just the James Caan, and oh god, and the wife, and I know her name, man. It's but just just the whole cast and crew. It's just an incredible movie. It was an incredible story, absolute perfect home run, and I just bye buddy, hope you find your dad. God, man, I love that movie so much. I mean, the only thing it's missing is an actual reference to Jesus, but I mean, other than that, it's my first favorite Christmas movie. But that's the thing, all the themes and the good emotions and energy that's pushed out there by the movie, go back to Jesus and the foundation and the things that he taught us, and wanted to build in us and things like that. So it's my favorite Christmas movie. Will Ferrell is my hero. So much love for him, and the fact that he's made a Christmas movie like that is just like, It just doesn't get better than that. So to me, I had to settle on Elf as my favorite, but got really close, almost pretty much a tie with a Muppet Family Christmas. But Elf is I just love it, and every year a different scene makes me laugh harder and harder than the year before. So, excuse me. But I just love it, and I have to get. Excuse me. But I gotta get at least one viewing of it in every year, and the fact that my niece and nephew love it is everybody loves Elf, man. It's it's so rare for me to see a contrarian jackass to be like, I don't like Elf, it sucks. It's like there's nothing not to like about it, man. Entertaining story, there's singing, there's so many funny jokes, so many funny scenes. There's the conflict, and then there's the great moment of everybody getting together and singing, and and getting the Christmas spirit back in everybody, and the belief in Santa Claus and the Christmas miracles, and inspiring everybody to be the Nicholases to their own village, man. I just love it, and to me, I had to settle on Elf as my number one. So, but all of these movies have special places in my heart. All of them I have to watch at Christmas, and all of them create great, positive, good, happy energy for me. So, it's even though I just ranking them to settle on things and to talk about it and have fun. But I love each one of these, and I wouldn't want or I couldn't have Christmas without any of them missing. So that's my 10 favorite movies. But that'll bring me to the end of this video. I don't want to be blabbing too long, because I want the impact to have this story to have as much impact as possible, because the true story of Santa needs to be out there, so that the people realize the belief in Santa is not about believing in an old man in a red suit in the North Pole, blah blah blah. The belief in Santa is about becoming the Nicholas to your own village and helping as many people as possible have a good Christmas. And if we extend that to Christmas and beyond, nobody's going to be left behind and having a bad Christmas or a bad life, and everybody will have a chance to be the best version of themselves, and we can build the best version of society. And the kind of lives we will all have in the best version of society is just, we will it'll drive us out of our minds looking backwards and thinking how we lived in this current society. So it's Christmas is one of the biggest important steps into taking that step forward to the best version of society and the best version of ourselves. So we gotta fight to put the truth out there, the true story. We gotta fight to keep Christmas is what it's supposed to be, in the good, positive, happy energy, the celebration of Jesus' birthday, the celebration of this amazing gift that we can never repay to Jesus. We can repay it to other people by having compassion and empathy, and just doing whatever we can, whether it's monetarily or our skills or our time or our services or whatever, or just anything we can give to help people. That's the belief in Santa. That's the miracle of Christmas. That goes back to what Jesus taught us, what he wants us to be. That goes back to honoring the gift that they gave to us, and that's what it's all about. That's what Christmas is supposed to be all about. So that will bring us to the end here today, and I just want to send as much good love, peace, positivity, strength, knowledge, courage, wisdom, perseverance, just positivity, just all the best, strongest energy, healing to those that need it, just everything I can to everybody around the world, my family, friends, strangers, all my brothers and sisters in Christ around the world, anybody that's having health issues, to just deliver as many miracles as you can, please, Jesus. Keep people away from turmoil and tragedy. Help people that have found love to have a good, strong bond. Help those that are struggling to find love to find a good, strong, loving bond that's not gonna leave them wanting or leave them with bad emotions. Please help. Please, please give the babies good, strong. Keep the babies good, strong, and healthy. Please give the kids good, strong, healthy environments to grow up in. Please help those that are struggling to be the best versions of themselves, to stay away from to stay away from the worst versions of themselves. Help those that are struggling to connect to you and the Lord. Please help them to just find that connection somehow. Please send out miracles to all the people that are dealing with illnesses and health issues around the world that need it, and just help give people some blessings and some good good positive moments that can relieve stress and to relieve some tension, and just to please, and send as much good energy to all the families so they can have the best kind of fellowship around the holidays and beyond as possible, and to bring families together that are maybe disconnected, and to settle grudges, and to just to just calm angry waters. Just all the best strongest energy you can send, all the best strongest energy you can send out there from me to everybody around there that needs it. And and please give us as much strong energy you can to the archangels. Let's go through them to the please, Jesus, give as much power and strength as you can to the archangel Raphael. He tasked to help us with healing and travels and things like that. And please give as much power and strength as you can to the archangel Raguel. He tasked to help us with justice and things like that. Please give as much power and strength as you can to the archangel Uriel. He tasked to help us with critical thinking and weather and things like that. Please, Jesus, give as much power and strength as you can to the archangel Shamuel. He tasked to help us with peace, love, harmony, fellowship, all forms of entertainment, things like that. Please, Jesus, give as much power and strength as you can to the archangel Jophiel. He tasked to help us with creativity and humor and fellowship, things like that. Please, Jesus, give as much power and strength as you can to the archangel Gabriel. He tasked to help us when we're struggling. Jesus, please give as much power and strength as you can to the archangel Azrael. He tasked with the role of separating the soul from the body, and one of the best and worst jobs. And please, Jesus, give as much power and strength as you can to the archangel Michael. He tasked to help protect us mentally, physically, and spiritually. And ask you, Jesus, to give as much power and strength as you can to your Mother Mary. Be tasked to help us with a great many things, and we need all the help we can get, Jesus. So as much power and strength as you can give to the archangels to help us, and as much power and strength and good energies you can send out to absolutely everybody that needs it, especially around this Christmas time. So it's going to bring me to the end today. I thank everybody for coming along for the ride, and we'll see you soon down the road. Much love. God bless. And we finished off a little different. And we heard him exclaim as he rode out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." Got my stocking hung up, so I'm ready to go. So, happy birthday, Jesus, Merry Christmas, and peace.